Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Daria. If you're new here, welcome. Today's yoga practice is called Fluid Fluctuations. The monthly theme here on my channel is June. For June is balance. And so in this class, we'll really be exploring what balance means. And to me, balance is this constant calibration. It's always adjusting and sort of clicking back into this point that feels balanced. And I think that this applies very much to our physical asana practice on the mat, as well as to life off of the mat. We're always encountering new things that we have to adjust to, whether that be the changing of the seasons or an illness or a new job or some kind of interaction or relationship change. And so we're going to practice remaining fluid through these fluctuations. And to me, what that means is staying graceful, staying with the breath, rather than becoming panicked or fearful. And today we'll be playing with some handstands. And for me, this is a posture that often will bring up that sense of panic, or that when I feel a fluctuation, the urge sometimes is to tense. And so today we'll practice doing the opposite, staying fluid and staying sort of relaxed with the breath. So a very long-winded intro today, but all that you'll need for this practice is yourself and someplace to move. And whenever you're ready, let's go ahead and get into it. We'll get started today from tabletop. So find your way up to hands and knees. Bring your shoulders to stack over the wrists and the hips float over your knees. We'll begin just by pressing down into all four corners of your palms. So really feel a solid lock between the base of your hands. Root your index finger mounds and then root your pinky finger mounds. From the center point of your palms, stretch all 10 fingers wide and then stick each finger pad down into the mat like it's a suction cup. Then pull the fingers back toward the center of your palms and start to feel that grip activate. From here, let's make circles over the wrists. So take the shoulders, maybe the wrists crack or pop a little bit. Mine definitely did. Take the shoulders on a big circle in one direction, and then go ahead and switch, reverse the circles. Start to connect with your breath as we begin to move as well. We didn't take time at the beginning of the practice to activate the pranayama, so make sure to do so now. Deepen the breath and see if you can breathe in and out through your nose, Ujjayi breath. Start to walk your palms out. So the fingers will point out toward the wide edges of your mat and the heels of your hands will face in, and then begin to sway side to side. Feel your forearms opening. Feel more opening in the wrists. And then walk your fingertips all the way back to point toward your thighs, or as far back as they'll go without introducing too much force. So you want to feel sensation, but it's a sensation that's still manageable. You can micro bend your elbows and here just shift a little forward, back, maybe circles. And finally, we'll keep the fingers pointing back toward the thighs, but we're gonna flip so that the tops of the hands come down to the mat and open the wrists here. Now, this movement will be very subtle, just a gentle shift forward and back. And try to feel the lines that run from the front of your wrists all the way up your hands and out through the edges of your fingertips. Reroot your palms down to the mat. Tuck your toes behind you, press down and forward, and slowly glide your hips high, finding your first downward facing dog. Take big fluid breaths here up and down your spine. Massage the back lines of your legs with breath, and as you do so, pedal your feet. Bend one knee and press the opposite heel toward the earth.
Hug your hands a little toward each other. Continue to claw into your finger pads and then spin your shoulder blades out wide. Broaden the space between your shoulder blades so that your biceps begin to revolve forward and your triceps begin to wrap back. And feel how firmly this allows you to anchor down into your palms. And then from those anchor points, invite your heart toward your thighs. Stretch your spine even more. You can keep micro adjusting or taking micro movements, maybe sways through the hips. And maybe the knees stay micro bent. On your next breath in, take your gaze forward toward your thumbs and then slowly tiptoe forward to the top of your mat. We'll take a ragdoll fold for a couple of rounds of breath. Toes behind the wrists. Drop everything down and forward. Drape your torso over your thighs. Draw your belly to your thighs and totally surrender. Relax your head. And you can do whatever you want with your arms, whatever's feeling good. And then allow your spine to glide from side to side. Root your fingertips back to the mat. Draw the feet together, and then we'll press down to rise up to stand, keeping a rounded spine, vertebrae by vertebra rolling up. Creating a stack of the spine and finally lifting the head. Drop your shoulders down your back and spin your palms to face forward. Soften your eyes here. We'll take a few moments to breathe in Tadasana. Feel that all four corners of your feet now are rooting deeply to the earth. So plug down through the big toe mounds, the pinky toe mounds, and then the heel on both sides. And see if you can feel, even as you stand here in mountain pose, the subtle fluctuations as your balance shifts. Maybe it's just a slight glide forward, a slight shift to the side, one side or the other, or maybe a little shift back. And then notice if you can find a place where these fluctuations become so subtle that they're imperceptible even to you. So that it's like you're a solid tree trunk straight down through both legs, growing roots deeply through your feet and into the earth. Blink your eyes open. Take a big inhalation to circle your arms out to the side and then all the way up overhead. Follow your thumbs with your gaze. As you exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. Reach back with the inner thighs and forward with the heart. Drop your fingertips in front of your toes. Breathe in, halfway lift, lengthen everything out. As you exhale, plant your palms, step back, plank. And we'll take a couple breaths here. Reactivate your hand lock, Hasta Bandha, pressing down through the four corners of your palms and all 10 fingertips. And then hug your front body to your back body. Press down more firmly to dome between your shoulders and charge your thighs. Notice the fluctuations in sensation. Notice how an activation in one area might begin to feel intense, but then if you shift your awareness to another part of your body, how does that change the first sensation you experienced? Breathe in, shift forward. Breathe out, chaturanga, lower halfway down, elbows hug in, untuck your toes. Inhale, upward facing dog, stretch your heart forward. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips high to the sky. Let's take 2 breaths here. Inhale through your nose, breathe up your spine. As you exhale, press more firmly into hands and feet, pressing down and away from each other. One more inhale through your nose. Stay and exhale through your nose. Breathe in, gaze forward. Breathe out, step or float to the top of your mat, finding a fold, feet together. Inhale to halfway lift, iron it out, and then exhale, bow chest to thighs. Root your feet, reach wide, and then rise all the way up to stand, palms overhead. As you exhale, bring your palms to meet at heart center. Again, inhale, reach up, gaze up, lengthen your waistlines. As you exhale, dive down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step or float back, lower down halfway, chaturanga. Untuck toes, inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 breaths here, in through the nose, out through the nose. Stretch your heels a little closer toward the earth. Breathe in, gaze towards your thumbs, lift your heels. Breathe out, bend your knees deeply at the bottom of the exhale. Hop forward to the top of your mat, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, rise to stand, reach up, lift your gaze. And exhale, palms meet at heart center. We'll go 3 more rounds through this sequence. And for these next 3 rounds, I want to invite you to bring in some playful balancing on the hands. So maybe you find crow before you flow back into your chaturanga. Or if it's in your practice, you can play with handstand or little handstand hops. On your next inhale, reach up to the sky. As you exhale, dive down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, make your way through your vinyasa, but first play with some sort of balancing on the hands and remind yourself that the fluctuations in the balance are normal. Play into them, work with them. We'll meet back in downward facing dog when you're ready, but take your time. You can always pause the video if you want to play longer. 2 breaths in, down dog. In and out through the nose, strong, steady Ujjayi pranayama. Inhale, look forward, lift your heels. Exhale, knees pull to the chest, step or hop to the top of your mat, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, rise to stand, fingertips to the sky. Exhale, palms to prayer, heart center. Inhale, reach up, gaze toward your thumbs. Exhale, forward fold, dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, just play, couple breaths. Try to take any pressure off. And we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Look forward, lift your heels, bend your knees, and travel to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, elongate, and exhale, bow. Inhale, press down, rise up to stand, fingertips rise. Exhale, palms to heart center, prayer. 1 more round. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, play. Find your vinyasa. Maybe you catch some air time. Maybe you're floating in a crow. Maybe not today. Whatever's happening, breathe into it. And we'll meet back in downward facing dog. And don't worry, we'll have more time to play with some hand balancing later on in the practice. Take a big breath in downward facing dog through your nose. Exhale through your nose. 1 more inhale. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, look forward, lift the heels. Exhale, bend your knees deeply and softly hop to the top of your mat, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Crown of head reaches toward your toes. Inhale, press through the feet, rise to stand, fingertips high. Exhale, palms to prayer. Close your eyes here, just take a moment. In through the nose, breathe. Out through the mouth, take a sigh. 1 more time like this, inhale. As you breathe out, let something go. Soften your shoulders. Soften anywhere in your body where you notice that you habitually hold tension. For me, it's usually the mouth and the jaw and the tongue. And blink your eyes open. Breathe in, chair pose. Sink your hips low, bend your knees deeply. Shift weight to your heels, and then reach your fingertips all the way up high. Draw belly button to spine, and as you exhale, start to sit your hips even lower, but squeeze your inner thighs toward each other. Hug the midline. Keep your toes light and bright. Maybe play with floating the toes up and away from the mat. One more inhale. As you exhale, sit lower. Inhale, press down, rise up to stand. As you rise, lift your left toes away from the mat, finding one-legged Tadasana. Left knee rises. Take a big inhalation. On your exhale, press forward with the left foot. Charge your thigh. Pull your left toes back toward your shin, and then try to shift your left hip a little back too, especially if you notice it's jutting forward. Now, become aware of the right foot, the base foot, and see if you can feel any fluctuations as the balance shifts, as it calibrates. Take one more inhale, lift higher. As you exhale, skim the mat with your left foot, just hover it away from the earth. Then stretch your toes back behind you, cactus your elbows, reach your heart forward, reach your fingertips back, airplane pose. Draw in through the lines of your waist and encourage more breath to flow to your heart space as it stretches forward. With an equal amount of energy, reach your left toes back. On your next inhale, bend deeply into the right leg. Stretch your left toes far back behind you. Reach your fingertips forward. We'll find warrior one. So back big toe lands, and then the pinky, and then the heel. As you breathe in, float your fingertips all the way up high to the sky. And as you exhale, settle into your feet. Feel a slight contraction of your ribs toward your hips. So we're taking the curve out of the low back. See if you can bend a little deeper into the front leg. Intensify what you're feeling into the left hip flexor. Breathe in here. As you breathe out, we'll come back forward to airplane pose. Lift your back toes, fingertips stretch back. Press off of the right foot to lift your left foot long and back behind you. Big inhale here. And as you exhale, dive all the way down, standing splits. Bow your heart toward your right toes and see how long you can keep the arms floating away from the mat. And then maybe, finally, you bring your hands down. Now here in standing splits, you can play with the balance by bringing one or both hands to the back of your right thigh. Wherever you are, can you activate more the left glute and hamstring to lift your toes an inch higher? Big inhale. As you exhale, bring both hands back to the mat. And we'll play again with some handstand hops. So if you need to adjust the stance a little bit, kick your left leg high, bend your right knee deeply, and then we'll hop and hop. And just take a few hops. We want to stack the hips over the shoulders. And try to let this be less about nailing a perfect handstand, but more about feeling into all the fluctuations as you shift your balance onto the hands. And when you're finished playing, let's meet back in a fold. You can take the feet hips distance apart, lift your toes and slide your palms beneath your feet. So palms of hands and soles of feet connect. Padahastasana. Wiggle the toes, massage the wrists, drop your head, and let this be time to allow your breath and your body to reset. Release the hands from beneath the feet. Walk the feet back together to touch. Take a fold in. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out just to fold. Inhale, chair. Sink into the heels. Reach your arms high to the sky. And exhale, slide the shoulders down the back as the belly button hugs to the spine and the hips sink lower. Couple of steady, smooth breaths. With every breath, dig deeper into what you're feeling. Try to bring your biceps beside your ears. Inhale, press down, rise up to stand. As you rise, lift your right heel, then pluck your toes away from the mat, one-legged Tadasana. Exhale, press forward, right foot to the top of the mat. Take a couple breaths here. Notice how you find your balance. Let it be a process. And see if you can feel that there's an even balance between the big toe side of the left foot and the pinky toe side. Are you rolling to the outer edge of the foot or the inner edge? Inhale. Exhale, skim the mat with the right foot. Cactus the elbows. Stretch your right toes long and back behind you. Reach forward with your heart and back with your fingertips, airplane pose. Tip your torso a little more forward. And notice how these subtle changes affect your balance. How steady can you keep your breath? Next, inhale. Start to bend the left knee. Reach forward through your fingertips, and we'll softly step the right toes back. Turn them out to 45-ish degrees, and then root the foot, especially the outer edge of the right foot. Inhale. Left sitting bone presses down towards your heel as the fingertips float up, warrior one. Can you align your hip bones to point straight forward? Breathe in. Breathe out. Lift your back heel. Reach your fingertips back behind you. Shift your torso forward. Press firmly into your left foot to float your right toes up and back behind you, returning to airplane pose. Take a breath, stretch out evenly in two directions. And then as you exhale, slow dive down. Standing splits, maybe the fingers stay lifted. And it's okay if you're wobbling. That's what all of this is about. Bring your hands to the mat as you need, and then stretch your right toes to the sky. Maybe one or both hands comes behind the left calf. And then see if you can pull your nose toward your left shin. Release both hands back to the mat if they're not already there. And let's play with handstand hops, second side. So this time, the right foot will lead, lifting up. Try to feel as though your inner thighs are magnetized, like scissoring together as you lift up to your hands. And maybe you catch a little air time. Let's take about 3 more hops. And then softly step down, feet to the top of the mat. Bring the feet parallel and hips distance apart, and just fold in, rock side to side. Take a breath in, halfway lift, root your fingertips, lift your toes, turn them out, and then re-anchor the feet to the mat. As you exhale, sit your hips low between the heels, Malasana. Reach forward with your fingertips, and then softly sink all the way down to a seat. See if you can do so without using your hands. From here, Navasana, boat pose. Lift your toes, fingertips stretch forward. Stay here, or you can reach your toes to the sky, draw the legs towards straight, and maybe reach your arms all the way up overhead. Feel your inner thighs squeeze together. Feel your shoulders draw down your back. Big inhale here. As you exhale, we'll lower to Ardha Navasana. So it's like a hollow shape in the body. We're creating like a banana shape. Press the low back down, toes forward, fingertips forward. Inhale here. Exhale, rise back up, Navasana. We're gonna flow back and forth between these two positions quickly. So inhale, exhale, half boat. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Totally okay to bend the knees if you need. Keep moving with your own breath. Inhale, exhale. Try to really press the low back down. As you lower, we have 5. Last 4, use your breath. 3, 2, imagine that your knees and your chest are magnetized. 1, and lower all the way down to lie on your back. Drop into a shavasana just for a couple breaths. So let everything go. And let this be as though all the pressure is dropping. Any expectations toward a certain outcome, let it release. Slowly rise yourself all the way back up to Navasana. We'll go again for a second round. Breathe in, breathe out, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, exhale. So strong. Let's do 5, 4, you got it. 3, bend your knees if you need. 2, last one, lift and lower down all the way to your back. Take a little drop, take a little rest. Open mouth, exhale. And just try to become observant of your experience. Notice your heart beating. Notice any sensations and activations and heat that you feel. Okay, last time, rise back up, Navasana. Inhale, exhale, lower. Breathe in, breathe out. Quick inhales, quick exhales, you're halfway. 5, 4, squeeze your core. 3, last 2, last one, lift, hold, squeeze, exhale, lower, hold, squeeze, low boat, let's rock for 10, 9, you can do it, 8, low back presses flat, 7, squeeze your inner ankles, 6, 5, 4, stay with it, 3, 2, 1, and release everything down. Widen your arms to the side. If you like this time, you can draw the heels in so your feet come flat to the mat and gently windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Grab behind your hamstrings, rock and roll the length of your spine a couple of times, and then roll over your shins, plant your palms, step or jump back to chaturanga. Upward facing dog, stretch it out, and find your way back to downward facing dog. We'll go again through the standing balancing sequence, and this time we'll notice what it feels like now that the core is really, really active. On your next inhale, look forward, lift your heels. Exhale, bend the knees, hop to the top of your mat, feet together, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, chair, weight the heels, reach the fingertips high. Exhale, sit a little bit lower. On your inhale, press into the right foot, lift your left toes away from the mat, one-legged Tadasana. Exhale, press the left heel all the way forward, straighten your leg, squeeze the thighs. Inhale to grow longer. Exhale, glide your left toes all the way back behind you. Open your arms to a cactus and then reach your heart forward, fingertips back, airplane. Take a breath in. On your exhale, deeply bend the right knee. Step left toes to the back of the mat. Turn them out to 45 degrees. Root your heel, and then as you breathe in, press into the back edge of your left foot. Lift your heart. As you breathe out, right back to airplane pose. Fingertips back, left toes back, heart forward, big inhalation, big exhalation, full down standing splits. See how long you can stay with the hands floating away from the mat, even if it's a little uncomfortable. Try not to panic. And if and when you need, you can release the palms. And then let's play again into some handstand hops. If you want, you can always come by a wall for a little more support. Let's take a few more hops on this side. 3, 2, 1. And release. Feet hips distance apart. Let's take 2 breaths here in a forward fold. You can do whatever you want. Any arm variation. Maybe bend one knee and then the other. Walk your feet together. Take a breath in, halfway lift, stretch it out. Exhale just to fold. Inhale, Utkatasana. Sink low, reach high. Exhale, sit your hips a little lower. Inhale, press down, rise up. Right leg is lifted, one-legged Tadasana. And exhale, press forward with the right heel, flex your toes. Breathe in, elongate. Breathe out, hug your belly button to your spine. Skim the mat with right foot, then stretch your toes to the back of your space as you reach your heart forward, airplane. Inhale, elongate. Exhale, bend the left knee. Softly, the right toes travel to the back of your mat. Turn the foot out, 45. Reach your fingertips up, warrior 1. Breathe in and breathe out. Fluidly transition back forward to airplane. Press into the left foot, root big toe and pinky toe evenly, and then blast out in 2 directions. And slowly on an exhale, begin to bow forward. Chest comes down towards your left thigh. Keep the hips square and see for how long you can keep the hands lifted. Once the palms come down, drop your head so the crown of the head fully surrenders. Handstand hops, here we go. Just think of this as playful. And if you need a little break, you can always come down to a little squat. Take a couple breaths to reset. And then when you're ready, try a few more. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Feet hips distance apart, fold down. Breathe in, halfway lift. Lift your toes, turn them out, and then breathe out. Exhale, sit the hips down between the heels. This time, let's bring the palms to heart center. Press the elbows to the knees, but then press your knees back to your elbows to create a bit of resistance. Traction your spine longer. Reach down through the tailbone and lift up through the crown of your head. Slow the breath, steady the breath. And then reach your fingertips forward, sink your hips, your pelvis back down to the earth, and stretch your legs straight at the top of your mat. Let's draw the right sole of the foot to the inner left thigh. Wiggle so you're sitting directly onto both of your sitting bones. Lift your heart. And then as you exhale, begin to fold forward over the left leg. If it's available, you can interlace your hands over the sole of the left foot. Take smooth breaths and try to allow the right knee to completely surrender to gravity. And let this be like an active surrender. So you're using gravity to help you, to assist you in driving the knee down toward the mat, opening the hip. Begin to rise back up And switch sides, right foot forward, left leg drives in, sole of the foot to the inner right thigh, and adjust as you need. Then lift your spine, take an inhale. As you exhale, begin to fold forward, keep the right toes flexed. Three more rounds of breath here. Close your eyes if it's comfortable. And see how much you can drop into your visceral sensations. Let the mind go and just let the body feel without any judgments or any stories. No trying to fix, just noticing. Start to walk all the way back in and stretch your left leg back to the top of your mats. We'll roll down to lie on our backs. You can go slow and use your core. And then when you arrive, send the soles of your feet up high to the sky. Grab for the outer edges of your feet, or maybe the ankles or the shins, and hug your knees to your outer ribs. Happy baby. And here, can you feel that your very low back, the sacrum, is pressing down toward the earth, and that the back of your head is pressing down with an even energy? And when you're ready, hug in, knees toward your chest, forearms wrap around the shins as you curl into a nice tight ball. Take a big inhale through your nose. Stay here, squeeze even tighter for your exhale. One more big inhalation, squeeze. And an exhale, shavasana. Arms and legs go wide. Don't be afraid to take up as much space as you need to feel comfortable, and drop everything toward the earth. Let this drop down into shavasana be a balanced one, so that every part, every fiber, every muscle, every cell can relax in a balanced way, in an even way. And so take a scan through your body and notice if there are any certain spaces that are holding on, that are tense or activated. And use your awareness and gentle exhales to soften those spaces so that they can match the softness of the rest of your body. And let your body enjoy now this time of doing nothing, this space for processing and absorbing all of the information that you received in your practice. Start to slowly bring your awareness back to your body and feel all the tingly, sweet after effects of these activations. Deepen your breath. Feel it fill up from your low belly all the way to the tops of your lungs. And as you exhale, can you surrender even more? And then begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes to start coming back to life. Take a big inhalation and stretch your body long, like a good morning stretch, like you're just waking up for the first time all day. Inhale here. And exhale, roll to a side, fetal pose. Let the roll be lazy. Take one more moment here. Let everything go. And then press into your palms. Find your way up to a comfortable seat. It can be Sukhasana, or you're welcome to sit up on your knees if that's feeling more comfortable for you. Soften your palms to your thighs. They can be face down or face up. And let your eyes close. And take a moment to feel balanced here. Feel an even stretch down through your tailbone and a lift up through the crown of your head, as though you're rooting evenly, anchoring evenly into the earth and into the sky. And take a moment now to acknowledge yourself for remaining fluid through any fluctuations that you experienced in your practice. Fluctuations in the balance, or in the breath, or in the intensity of sensation. And then let this be a reminder that you can carry this fluidity, this grace with you off of your mat as you move through the fluctuations that naturally occur in our lives. Draw your palms to meet at heart center. Take an inhale through your nose. One last sigh out of your mouth to clear. And then lift your spine, stretch your heart towards your thumbs, and drop your chin slightly towards your chest. Namaste.
Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me today. I hope that that was fun for you, even if a little uncomfortable. For me, this is definitely an ongoing practice of that fluidity in the fluctuations. So if you're not already, you can subscribe to my channel down below. I upload new videos every Monday and every Friday, and that really supports me. I hope you're doing well, and I will see you soon in another class. Bye.